The challenge was we're playing AEW fantasy booking for the future. So I told him, I said, you get to pick one AEW superstar, one AEW wrestler, whatever you want to call him, 30 or under, and you have to book them on how you make them the next big star of AEW. To do that, you need to pick something for their character development, pick something for their in-ring development, and name a major feud that's going to solidify their elevation. Pacific, why don't you tell everybody about your pick?
Dante Martin.
Tell us
Dante
more.
Martin. Well, for a guy his size, I see a little bit of the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be in him. And in the storyline, I would involve the excellence of execution in the storyline. It would be a storyline where he's attacked by Malachi Black. His brother Darius is actually the one that suffers the beatdown, and it infuriates Dante to the point where he challenges Malachi Black for another match. Although this match doesn't bode well for him. As a matter of fact, he ends up losing this match. And one of the things that is pointed out in this match, in the storyline, is that he doesn't have the skills to beat Malachi Black. And he needs to learn to be more of a submission wrestler, more of a technician. Now, some might say, but he's perfectly fine as he is in the ring. Perhaps. But look at it this way. Bret Hart was a scrawny kid from Calgary when he first entered the wrestling ring. And he was stuck in a tag team with Jim the Anvil Neidhart. And not too many people gave him a chance when he was in a singles match. But because of his skills, because of what he learned in the Stu Hart dungeon, Bret Hart became one of the best wrestlers we know today. So basically, this storyline would involve Bret Hart teaching Dante the ways of the Stu Hart dungeon, putting him through those trials and tribulations to where, Malachi Black is still antagonizing him. And during the process of learning with Bret Hart is also attacked. So now you have Darius and Bret Hart as two people who have been injured by Malachi Black, and it lights a fire under Dante to where he takes skills that he's learned over time from Bret Hart to challenge Malachi Black to a match. And in that match, he does go over Malachi Black. He uses the sharpshooter. Yes, I know somebody's going to say, but Stain's already in AEW. He uses the sharpshooter. Well, there are two very good technical wrestlers who use the sharpshooter, and those two men are Bret Hart and Sting. But what I want in this storyline is also to kind of pay tribute to Owen Hart. And, one of the things that Bret Hart says to Dante before he has his big match with Malachi Black is that nobody gave anyone in the Hart family other than Bret a lot of credit. And Bret had his match against Owen. And that was one heck of a match that they had at WrestleMania 10. And I want the storyline to kind of invoke the spirit of Owen Hart as well. So I want that to be, kind of Bret Hart's push to Dante saying, nobody thought my brother could put on a good match, and he put on one heck of a match with me. Yes, I won that match, but I couldn't have done it without my brother. And now I want you to take these lessons that I've taught you and go kick Black's behind.
Not bad, old man. All right. You still got a little bit of that in you, huh? I like that. I like your pick, dude. I like the pick a lot. Dante Martin is clearly going to be somebody who can entertain people for years to come. I think he's making all the right friends and he's getting all the right training. And I think a lot of people who have the tools to mold him are seeing that, and they're going to do everything they can to make sure he gets where he needs to be. I like that. I like that. That was a really good story you told there.
I could have gone on forever, but we do have a time constraint too.
No, I understand. That's absolutely. Well, for my pick, I'm going with Powerhouse Hobbs. I like this guy. I like this guy. You know, I have a thing for the bigger people who have the look. I love all different types of wrestling, but I do believe that in a wrestling promotion, it's important to have a couple people who look like professional wrestlers. Powerhouse Hobbs is one of those guys, but he also loves wrestling and he makes it look great.
Yep,
So,
look at him tonight.
Here's what I got for Powerhouse Hobbs. After losing to Orange Cassidy again, he awakens this inner thing in himself, which we saw at Rampage. You saw his burst of anger where he grabbed the ref out of anger and threw him in the corner. We're going to play on that a little bit more. We're going to play on that. We're going to make that part of his character. Not only does he awaken this anger inside of him, but he also realizes that Team Taz is clearly Team Starks. He knows that so long as he's on Team Taz, he's never going to get the attention he deserves. He's never going to get the focus, and he's always going to be second behind Ricky Starks. So he says, you know what? I'm done. Team Taz is not for me. He turns on Ricky. He becomes a true force in AEW. Now, here's the thing. This is going to be the key. This is going to be the key to this build. He is going to be the guy that is just downright menacing. People are afraid to get in the ring with him because he hurts people. He has this anger. So, Finn Balor has the demon, right? Where he doesn't always have the demon, but on certain matches, the demon comes out. Bray Wyatt has the Fiend. He doesn't always have it, but on certain matches, the Fiend comes out. Powerhouse Hobbs is not always going to show his anger. But you never know when you're going to set him off and when he's going to exhibit that anger. Anytime AEW has a superstar who needs to be written off TV for however long, they do it by putting him against Powerhouse Hobbs, where he goes into his frenzy and he injures them. He injures people. And you have him go on this streak, and he's going to look so good and so dominant, where he's just destroying the roster, dismantling these stars one by one, creating this list of people he's just destroyed. That's the key. Anytime somebody's going off, they go off by going against him. Now, in addition to that, we're going to need to see him work on his body language. So that's the in-ring development that I want. Or the character development as well. Both of them, really. I need to see him work on his body language. Because he's in that match against Orange Cassidy, I saw a lot of really great things. But what I didn't see was him doing these moves to show off how powerful he is. He's doing the right moves, but he's not doing the right things. Like when he had Cassidy up, I want to see him really move him around a little bit, shake him up, stomp up and down a little bit. Do some big man moves. You know what I'm saying? Make it clear that you are bigger than him. You are imposing your will on him, and you are a force to be reckoned with. I want to see the facial expressions get worked on a little bit. I want to see you look mean. You're mean. You're powerful, and you know it. And I want to see you move your body in a way that shows confidence, strength, and just devastation. I want you to make it look like, even if your opponent's not selling your move at all, the way that you're moving, it looks like your opponent is in pain just by how you're moving. If I see you do that move, I'm thinking to myself, oh, wow, I would not want to be in that. Now, one other thing is, you notice he used the torture rack against Orange Cassidy. I want to see either the torture rack or a bear hug become a new alternate finish for him. But he only uses it when he goes into his fit of rage. That is how he puts people out. You fear that move so much. People are scared to get in the ring with him because they don't know when he's going to snap. And they're going to get put in the torture rack or the bear hug or something. And he's just going to just go in and just wreck the spines of these people. That torture rack looked great. I don't think I've seen anybody do it that well since Luger himself. He did so well executing that. And the fact that Orange was trying to break out of it and he kept pulling him back, that's what I like to see. That's exactly what his anger is going to be. You're not going to be able to get out of it. Until he has a match for the world title against Bryan Danielson. He has a feud with him about the big man versus the small man. And Bryan Danielson is pulling his whole, small guy can win, as we've seen him do so many times. He's small, but he's furious. He's technically advantaged. He's got all these submissions, and he's using all of them. But it's not doing anything. He tries to put these submission moves on Hobbs, and Hobbs just powers out of him. And then Hobbs awakens. He gets angry again. And he puts Bryan Danielson in that torture rack or that bear hug that nobody since Orange Cassidy has gotten out of. Nobody since he's learned this new awakening has gotten out of. But Bryan Danielson gets out of it. He gets out of it, and everybody thinks, oh my gosh, Bryan Danielson got out. Nobody's gotten out of that since he's gotten angry. And he goes for that running knee that he goes for, because he sees clearly the submissions aren't working. So he goes for that running knee, but he forgets. He was so focused on the submission that he forgets about that powerhouse Hobbs powerbomb, and he runs straight into the nastiest Hobbs powerbomb you ever see in your life. And 1, 2, 3. Powerhouse Hobbs not only becomes AEW World Champion, but he becomes the first African-American AEW World Champion, I'm pretty sure. Fairly positive. Fact check me, guys, if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty positive. Yeah, because Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega. That's it, I'm pretty sure. And Hangman Page will win it from Kenny. I mean, we know that.
Yeah, that's coming down the line at some point.
Yep. And whatever happens between, because this is obviously taking time for him to go on this mean streak. So Hangman will have his run, and then ultimately somehow or another Bryan will get the title, and then this match will culminate. So that's my booking for Powerhouse Hobbs to be one of the mainstays of AEW's future. What do you think?
I like it. I really do. And, the thing about this, folks, is it wouldn't be over a period of 4 weeks. We're talking about their careers.
Yep.
So, you build it up from a start and then keep building upon that. And by the end of it, a guy like Powerhouse Hobbs is a legitimate threat for the World Heavyweight Championship. Dante Martin's a legitimate threat as a singles competitor.
Exactly. We're talking about years here. We're talking about, however long it takes. But these are two examples of how these people, these two really amazing, well-talented young stars can become the true future of AEW. That's what we're about. We're not about just coming in here and saying, oh man, AEW did this so well. Oh, they did this so well. Oh my gosh, how great is AEW? We love doing that. We love appreciating this wrestling revolution that's bringing us these wonderful matches, because without it, we'd be falling asleep at Edge versus Rollins. But at the same time, we're here to say, okay, what can they do better? How can we watch this turn into the great, not just the best professional wrestling program right now, but the best professional wrestling program of all time? That's what we want to see. We want to give those harsh criticisms and say, hey guys, you're doing some amazing things. Here's how it could get even better. At the end of the day, if you cannot take constructive criticism, you can't be perfection. But yeah, and I actually want to open this up. I'm gonna make a form. I'm gonna make a form to post on Twitter, and of course you can follow us at. I'll get that here in just a second. But I'm gonna make the form. I want you, the listeners of Over the Barricade, to come up with your own fantasy booking. You just heard our reasonings for Dante, Martin, and Hobbs, and if you have a different one for Martin and Hobbs, then by all means, present that different one for Martin and Hobbs. I'd love to hear how you think Hobbs could be it, or I'm sure Pacific would love to hear how you think Martin could be it. But if you have any superstar under 30 years or under, I'm going to put the form up. I'm going to make an actual document, and I'm going to share it on Twitter. And I want you guys to email me your forms, and we're going to share those. And if you don't want to do it in a form format, then that's fine too. We'll do it, if you just want to share your thoughts. But it's at BarricadeCast on Twitter. Again, at BarricadeCast on Twitter. And from there, in our profile, you can find our link tree, where that's got all of our links, where you can find us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, Instagram, TikTok, everything. You can find all of our outlets right there on Twitter. That is the home base, at BarricadeCast. So I will put that form up on there, and it's got our email in there as well. It does have our email. So if you ever have any questions, thoughts, or anything you'd like us to talk about on the show, send us that email, because we want to hear what you've got to say. We want you to share those thoughts and those opinions. We want you to send those emails in, and we'll read it. But this particular challenge is a call to arms. I want to hear what you guys think about the young future of AEW. How do you think we turn these youngsters into top-ranking stars? Tell me how you would book it. Who are you going to book, and how are you going to do it? I will get that form posted as soon as possible, probably tomorrow by, I would say, maybe 3 p.m. Eastern. I want to give myself a little bit of a goal. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. I really want to hear from the viewers, the listeners, what you guys think about that. And I eagerly await some responses, hopefully.